Alright guys, what's going on? Today is the day after the NABBA Nationals. Um, Eventful day. Um, just a recap. So essentially what happened was I came third in the junior class, which I'm happy and unhappy. It's like, like I can't disagree with the results whatsoever because I literally muscled and outsized and out densityed and out thicknessed my way up into the third spot. Like I knew going into the show nobody would have my thickness and shape and density. Um and I knew even like at being in adolescent stellar condition it would get me up. But when it came down to it, Mark Hodson, who came second, was more conditioned all over. Um and Colin Lynch, who won the overall, who came out of nowhere from Galway, was the one junior up there who had shredded glutes and hams. I remember standing behind him in the instant me and Mark saw him standing there. Look, in a hoodie, looked completely normal, fucking didn't assume anything. I was bigger than the fella, I was, a better shape, better structure, whatever, more thickness, but the fella stripped down, fucking shredded glutes, shredded hams. They're always going to reward supreme condition in any of the shows over pure mass and shape. So I can't disagree with the result. I can't. So recap. Going into the pre-judging, I did a carb load on a steady carb load kind of the week before. So what ended up happening was I ended up getting very, very full on the Friday, Saturday night, I'm gonna say, and I was actually quite afraid of spilling over. Um, so essentially what I did was I had a few shots of Hennessy and a glass of wine. The night before, I woke up flat as a piece of paper. But drier. I was quite dry. Then what ended up happening was backstage. I thought there was going to be oil. Last time I competed, they supplied oil. They oiled you up. Got my tan done. Great job by Glam and Tan. Thank you very much. Stellar job, despite the cold. But yeah, so essentially what ended up happening was went backstage. Freezing cold backstage area. That killed any for it made the pump up harder, the vascularity harder. And I'm not saying a pump up helps. I mean, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But essentially what happened was it took. I have the kind of physique where the more I pose, the more I work it, the more it pops, the more look better, the more vascular I get, the fuller I get. Whereas others fade, I look better as I start to pose. So what happened was, but I have to be warm. It warms me up essentially. But because it was so cold, I found it quite hard to warm up. And I didn't have enough sodium in me at all. I didn't do any form of sodium loading or anything. I just kept it. I was afraid of spilling over. I wanted to out condition the guys. But can't out condition guys who are more conditioned than me. So what ended up happening was I went on stage and didn't have oil on me, so it didn't show off the cuts in the legs. It didn't show off my shape. Um, I think a few guys had oil on. Not pretty much nobody had oil on. For the prejudging. So what happened was I went on. I got first call out. I was on the end of the first call out, so I went in and I was thinking I was going to be maybe sixth or fifth. And then I got feedback from a few people, from judges, telling people that I was maybe going to be in the top two or three. So I wanted to play a game because the decision had been made at that point, obviously at the pre-judging, so I couldn't change what happened despite I was happy in the sense that, I can manage to get where I was looking the way I looked, with room to improve. So for the finals, I sat down with Christian McLinden, a great friend of mine, second eye, and we decided to play a game. Um, I had him had a look at me. I had room to fill out and get more vascular. So essentially, I went out to Eddie Rockets. I got some burgers, I got some fries, and I didn't actually lose condition. I actually got better. My body filled up. I got more vascular. Shape popped. I gained a kilo and a half of fucking from the sodium loading. Actually looked better. I went back later on to Bunsen Burger, got some sweet potatoes, fries with ketchup, again more sodium, a little bit of fluid intake, a tiny little bit of fluid intake, still very dehydrated. And what ended up happening was for the finals, I looked like a completely different person. I was popping, my muscles were popping out, I was vascular, I looked more conditioned. So on the finals, I have a few pictures and everything on my Instagram. You can check. Prejudging, I was hard up top. I was dry up top. But I wasn't. But then in the finals, I looked about 20 kilos bigger. I was conditioned. I actually looked better because of all the sodium loading. I had the cuts, and the oil made a big difference. Um, So essentially, what I'm going to do going into the RBBF, because I figured now my body actually doesn't need a carb load the day before the show because it responds so quick to the sodium and carb load on the day. Like, I mean, I literally responded about half an hour after I started eating. So I, that's my genetics. I've never done that before. Doing my own prep, I had to, I was playing my own game. The only one who was going to decide what was going to happen was me. So I played the game and, it paid off because I learned some positives coming out of this experience. Which is my body doesn't need a huge carb load. I can push the calories down. I can push the work rate high. I can burn weight of fat coming harder, and I don't have to worry about doing a huge carb load to fill up because I just respond like a flash, and I don't have to worry because I was worried about spilling over. Because I was so full the night before the show, I was worried about spilling over. So I didn't eat before the prejudging as much as I could. I had no salt in me or anything, no fluids. So I didn't want to spill over, but I didn't spill over when I pushed it hard. So my body responds to pushing it hard on the day. So for IBBF, so right now for the last week, what I'm going to do is I'm straight back on the diet. Tuna and sweet corn, essentially two rice cakes or two corn cakes before training, and then after training, I'm going to have 40 grams of oats, um, and then just tuna and sweet corn. And then the night of the morning of the night of the show, course, just dehydrate. Same process as I did last time. Glass of wine, but the morning of the show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to McDonald's or something, get a couple of burgers and fries, ketchup, do a sodium load, and then hopefully come into the prejudging the way I looked at the finals at NABBA in the prejudging RBBF with better condition. And hopefully that will be good enough to bring home the win or at least get top two. Um, because like I know I can win the shows if I was more conditioned, undeniably conditioned, and I had the fullness and vascularity and shape and density and thickness that I have now with more condition. Why can't I win the shows? I just have to push it to get the condition. But it's a learning experience. I actually got an invite to the universe and the worlds. Um, Currently I'm actually looking for a new job outside of the college hours. Kind of. Working in the kitchen at the moment. It's very taxing on the body. Um, Actually, yeah, and I'm working 2 nights before IBBF, which I'm using as a benefit because that's going to burn more calories, get me more conditioned, get me more dehydrated. But yeah, so essentially, I'm going to hopefully go. If I was to go to the university, it depends how I do with RBBF. If I do well at RBBF, I'm going to investigate about the universe and just carry on what I'm doing. I'm not pushing the supplementation hard at all. Really, to be honest with you, I'm actually on less supplementation than I was there earlier on, my body's just responding very well to what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna push it. And I was worried about my weight dropping, but I gained, as I said, like I gained 1.5 kg in between the finals and the prejudging, and it didn't affect the way I looked at all in terms of condition. It actually made me look better, just fullness in the pop. That's how my body, like I didn't know my body responded that well to doing sodium and carb loading. Um, I just tried doing a basic carb load, and my body just burnt it all off. So for me to look good on stage, I need to essentially have a fuck ton of salty carbs and sodiums before I head in, and if I'm dehydrated enough, it'll fill me up like a balloon, and you know so it actually I was in condition up top, like my upper body condition was grand. It was winning condition. My quads look good when they are posed, but what one win shows is condition in the hammies and glutes, and oil helps a little bit, but look, they were hard, but they weren't hard enough. But I was conditioned enough from the front, and I know going into RBBF, and I know now going forward, um, you know what works and what doesn't work. So hopefully my quads will be conditioned enough from the front. From the side, my legs are very good. And as I said, because I'm so dense and thick down below, that does carry me through. But you can only reward that so much if you're not in supreme condition. So Mark and Colin, well done. Look forward to battling you on this coming Saturday. It's great time backstage. It's like there's no enmity, there's no fucking bullshit. You're all there doing the same thing. It's not like any other sport. Like, everyone was friendly, nice. There was a few. Don't get me wrong. There's a few guys who thought they should have placed better than they should have. They were going into the show saying, "Oh, it's my first show. I'm gonna win." You can't have that. You have to be realistic. Any, like I literally went into the show thinking like, some freak could come out of nowhere and win the show, and that's what fucking happened. Some guy came out of nowhere from Galway and won the show, and like that's how you have to expect the unexpected. So well done to Davy Byrne. Thanks for organising the Bunsen trip. Uh, Great crack. Well done to Neve Duggan for winning the bikini at Bunsen. Fellow Raw Sandyford alumni. She actually recognised me, which is funny because I say covered up. I just do my thing. Well done to fucking Darius for winning the overall. Um, you know, Shout out to Christian for being a second eye, and Alex for being a second eye. Just making sure I was on track on the day, and I enjoyed the process. I'll keep you updated going forward into RBBF. Check my Instagram story. I will be posting updates as best as I can. Um, and I'll see how it rolls out. I just have to manage the college assignments and essays and work with the training, and I think it's fine, to be honest with you. But taking a day off today to rest and recoup, have an exam assignments due coming up anyway. Yeah, no, I think coming out of the show I'm actually better conditioned than I was before the show. My body responded very well to what happened on today. So I'm just gonna do what I'm doing. 2 workouts a day, 30-40 minutes of cardio. I'm gonna train legs today, and then I'm gonna stop legs for the week, and then I'm gonna just train up until the show, and hopefully it pays off with a win, or hopefully a win. But you don't train to lose, but at the same time, realistic, if someone comes in better, fair play to the fella. But I am going to try and improve my hardness, and just stay around the same weight, just hardness and fullness. That's what I need. So if I manage the sodium loading and carb load correctly before the show, and when I get dry and hard, now before that happens, my body, like I'm not gonna blur out. I don't blur out. What actually happens with my body is I can get push my body very, very hard to get conditioned or hard. And with a lot of people, it when they do a carb and sodium load, it'll blur them out. I don't blur out. My body just takes it all in and fills up. And again, but it works. I have pictures in this night and day between the finals and prejudging. Like prejudging, I was happy I got third because of what I felt like I was better finals, but I thought finals may have gotten me second because I looked so freaky. Like in comparison, just my vascularity, my fullness, my size, my thickness and density combined with looking hard with the oil. Whereas at the prejudging, sure I was hard and I got harder as I started to pose. And but mainly what carried me through there was my shape and density, and but I wasn't as popping, if it makes any sense. Um, so yeah, that's all I have to say. Um, you know, see what happens. I mean, I did my own prep, so at the same time, it's like, you know, what it's up to me to put in the work. There's nobody telling me like you have to do more of this, more of that. And the best thing about it is I know now I know how my body responds on show day or close to show day to doing the carb loads and doing the things. And what works for me is less carbs the week before instead of doing a gradual carb load because my body literally loses. Like I was so full the fucking night before and I just dropped it. So I'm better off doing a sodium load with carbs, pumping the carbs on the day, and I'll be so dehydrated and spent that my body just takes it up. So that's what I'm gonna do moving forward. And oh, what else? Come up and say hi, and you know, yeah, just join the process. So yeah, it was nice actually. I got a few guys coming up saying talking about the videos and uh, guys I've never seen or talked to really before, and it's nice. Attention is good attention. No, David Byrne loves them. So we'll see what happens. Definitely more content coming in the future. Some training clips and everything with different people. We'll see.